Marotta, is that how I say it?
Marotta.
Marotta. And this all started with a poem, right? With an assignment from college that you had, they had you write.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, yeah, we had to give some kind of speech, and we had to give a poem or some famous speech in front of the class, do it orally. I chose to do a Muhammad Ali poem back when he was doing poetry.
Out of all the poets, Muhammad Ali, right?
Yeah. My teacher afterwards said, you know, you're pretty good. Have you thought about using your voice for anything in speaking?
Yes.
And I said, well, I don't know, what can I do? And the radio TV department was right across the hallway from my speech class. And she said, well, why don't you try something in there? So I went into the radio business kind of right then.
That's great, that's great. And do you still remember the poem?
This is the legend of Cassius Clay, the most beautiful fighter in the world today. He talks a great deal and talks indeedy of a muscular punch that's incredibly speedy. The fistic world was dull and weary. With a champ like Liston, things had to be dreary. And someone with color, someone with class, brought fight fans a running with cash. So,
that was great. And you got an A, right? For
yes,
that assignment?
I did.
That's great.
I do remember that.
And then also you've been in everything. You've won Emmys, NHL, NFL. Why did you choose boxing?
Boxing was the sport I actually loved as a kid growing up and as a teenager. My dad had a stack of Ring magazines, an old-time magazine about that high. I used to read them all the time. So I was doing all of these other sports, but I let the word out that if something came up and I had the opportunity, I'd like to do some boxing. And fortunately, some guys gave me a chance, and I was able to parlay that into a further spot in my career.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much, Rich. This is amazing turnout. What does this mean to you?
Well,
this event and just
very proud, you know, this is kind of, you see what this is. You know, this just started off as a dream to be able to build a Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame because we have so much history here in Nevada, so many great fights here in Nevada, and the sport has had such a presence. It was very important for Nevada to have its own state Hall of Fame, and you see the kind of people that are here today, the champions that are
all the champions are here today. Yes, it's a great turnout.
All these fans have turned out to see it, so we're very proud of one. And Michelle Corrales-Lewis, of course, does a great job as our president now. She runs it on a day-to-day basis, and she is more putting these things together now. I try to be the guy that shows up and waves out.
That's great. We're going to have to find her next then.
Okay. All right.
And then one last question.
Sure.
Being a huge Canelo fan that I am, you said you didn't really believe in him when he came first, but then you see him now as a potential Hall of Famer. And what do you think about that loss against Revolt?
I'm not too bothered by it. You know, I thought it was kind of a bold undertaking by him to jump up that high to try to take it on. You know, it was a little too much, but I don't think Canelo really has slipped. You know, it was a tough task, and I think he's fine. I'm looking forward to the Golovkin fight. We'll see what happens. But yes, you're right. When Canelo was young, I thought he was just a hype job. Somebody they were, making a good story up because of his red hair and everything.
And a code name, right? You said Cinnamon.
And I was probably the most wrong I've ever been in my career. He could really fight. He's a great.
Yeah, he is. So who do you have? Canelo versus Triple G?
Well, I think, Triple G has slipped some. Canelo has developed. I think he's kind of probably plateauing right now, but I would give a slight edge to Canelo.
Great. And any final messages for all the fans, for all the boxing fans out there?
Well, I would just say make plans to be here next year.
Yes, guys, you guys need to come. Great event. Founder here. Let's go boxing.
Thanks for being here.